back with another episode of our top 5 songs, except in this one we're gonna cheat a little bit and do a top 10 because we're doing Pearl Jam.
That's right. Top 5 was just not enough for Pearl Jam. Again, I think I could speak for both of us, but Pearl Jam is one of our top 3 or 4 favorite bands, and to just do top 5 was a little blasphemous and also just impossible to narrow it down to 5, so we're going to do top 10. We also are doing a video of chronologically our favorite Pearl Jam studio albums, so if you want you can check that out or not. So here's a couple notes about Pearl Jam for me personally. So when Pearl Jam hit in 91, 92 with 10, I really wasn't big into Pearl Jam right away. Okay, I was in college, senior year, and it just, 10 was saturated. I mean, Jeremy and what else? Alive. It was just on the radio all the time, and I just was kind of like, I've heard it a million times. So I kind of put them on the back burner for a couple years, and then I think it was in 98 when Yield came out. My sister gave it to me for my birthday, and I was like, holy crap, I gotta rediscover Pearl Jam. And again, that's not to say that I didn't think that there were some songs off 10 that I really liked, and I valued Pearl Jam, but definitely didn't consider them in my top 10 bands. Again, until I got Yield, thought it was an amazing album, and just had to rediscover their whole discography up to that point. And since then, they've just grown in love for me personally. A quick note on my top 10. This will come as no surprise after what I just said, and I've probably lost a few people by now by saying 10 really didn't hit me the right way, the perfect way, right away. But none of my top 10s are top 10 songs are from 10, and 2 of my 3 top songs aren't even on their 11 studio albums.
Wow!
So a little note there, and I'll shut up now and I'll let Steph go.
All right, and so contrast to how John got into the band, the first time I heard them was when they did the cover of Last Kiss. So very interesting that it wasn't even an actual Pearl Jam song. I was a little young then, didn't really know or was really into rock. I was like 8 maybe. Interesting enough, I grew up in Astoria, Queens, and they actually recorded the MTV's Unplugged in 1992, so boy would I have loved to have really known about them and been around somehow.
They recorded it at Kaufman Studios, I think, which is right around the
I grew right
corner from where you
right
grew
up
up.
by the studios.
Nice.
So pretty nice fact about the band. But yeah, I was pretty young when the first time I heard them, and then cut to when I was in college, years later after John was. I had heard about them, and then playing Guitar Hero in college with my friends. I really loved to play Even Flow, and I really started to really dig into Pearl Jam's catalog, and then the rest is history. Just now hanging out with John, listening to a lot of Pearl Jam and going to see them live, which has been so awesome. So definitely, it's been one of my favorite bands to get into as an adult.
Cool. And I know I always ask this point, but this is our top songs that we feel today. Again, with a great band like Pearl Jam, where we cycle through their discography all the time, their songs, it changes for me. I know every month I could be like, holy crap, now I'm rediscovering the Avocado album and just love those songs. So this is how we feel today. It's a nice little way to have some convo during this crazy COVID summer, which is coming to an end. But let's talk a little bit about live. Speaking of, coming to an end of the rough year here. But you wanna?
Yeah. So when you talk about Pearl Jam, you have to talk about seeing them live. They're an incredible group of musicians that is just, there is no way to really explain to you what it's like to be there until you're there. And our last show was at Fenway Park in Boston. Really awesome, just a great show all around.
Labor Day weekend 2 years ago.
Yeah, just the vibe was great. people, the energy. It's just an incredible show, and what a set list we got.
We did. It was an amazing time. And how many times have we seen them? Have you seen them?
We say about 3. Yeah.
Right. We saw them in Philly.
Yeah.
Saw them in Brooklyn, and then the show at Fenway, which was definitely the topper for me. Now I've seen them a couple more times. I've been around a little bit longer than this one. But my first show was actually the MSG show from 2003 with Ben Harper. So I got indoctrinated to Pearl Jam Live with just an awesome show. And then the DVD came out, and I was like, holy crap, that was so cool to be there. I didn't even know who Ben Harper was at the time, but that was amazing. And then I saw them a couple times, a couple years after that, maybe the 2007, 2008, I think. I saw them at the Meadowlands right here in Jersey, and that was cool. And then the times we saw them, so I saw them about 7 times, and I would say behind Springsteen, nothing beats a Pearl Jam show. So live, you know, when you think of Springsteen, it's like a religious experience, and Pearl Jam, it is very close to that, if not equal to that, which is, I think Eddie and the guys would be pretty happy with that comparison. Yeah.
I agree 100%. It's just like no other show you'll ever see.
Yeah, and a lot of times we'll get tickets behind the stage, and a lot of people would never even dare to do that. But for Pearl Jam, it's awesome just to see the crowd from that vantage point. And, you know, they turn around and they kind of play to the back of the stage. So it's fine with me. Wherever you are at a Pearl Jam show, they kind of make you feel like you're front and center.
Yeah, and we got a special song, Elderly Woman, played to us in Philly. That was really, really, really cool.
Yeah, cool. All right, just another quick note. I always talk about politics because I love when my bands do get somewhat political. I do really feel like I love that. I think that bands, the music's coming from their heart when they speak about causes that they believe in, whether it's political, environmental, and Pearl Jam just fits the mode. I know, look, they're not as in your face with politics as like bands that we've done the top 5s, like Rage Against the Machine or even System of a Down, but they're definitely politically involved, and Steph and I are definitely on the same page with their politics. So I'll mention a couple of things that I just love is the Vitalogy Foundation, promoting nonprofits and art and other social causes. Obviously, for like 30 some odd years, they've been involved with the Bridge School Benefits, which is Neil Young's baby. That's right. And, you know, even social and, you know, causes like West Memphis 3, where these kids were convicted for killing a little boy, and one or two of those guys were innocent, and Eddie came to their defense and brought light to that case. So they do things like that. They're pro-choice advocates.
Gun control as well.
Gun control, right. They're carbon neutral when they tour, so environmental. I mean, Gigaton, their last album, is all about the environment and how we got to do something now, otherwise disaster will befall the planet, which, if you've got half a brain, you realize this is real and it needs to be addressed. And then the whole COVID thing hit when Gigaton came out, and I think it's perfect timing because they kind of intersect the whole COVID thing and this, you know, worldwide pandemic and the environmental issues we're having. Just think it was a great time for that album. We were going to see them live. I'll let Steph tell you on that real quick. One other note live.
Yeah, so we had tickets for their show at MSG in March, and then I had surprised John for his birthday and gotten tickets to see them in Germany at the start of the European tour.
Darn it.
Yeah, I surprised him, but hopefully next year things are a lot better and we can go and everybody can enjoy.
Yep, so we're paid up. 2 shows in 2021. Let's just hope this thing goes away. And yeah. All right, should we get into the top 5/top 10? Maybe we'll do our top 5. We'll go from 5 to number 1, and then we'll give the extra 5 after. All right, so what's your 5th favorite Pearl Jam song?
All right, so I'm going to go with Corduroy from Vitalogy.
We have a match already.
Wow, awesome.
All right.
Yeah, so I think I love that Pearl Jam can go from really gritty, hard songs to ballad type songs, and this is definitely one of my favorites for their hard, just, in your face lyrics. They're just, I think, just amazing. I think Eddie's voice is just incredible, and I think it just speaks to, the anger that he was feeling, thinking about how you get to deal with being famous. And as many of you know, Eddie struggled with that early on, and so this is just a song about that, and just, trying to, like, fight that, ego, and, not let yourself just, like, go to your head. So I think it's just a really great song all around.
Yeah, and I have it at number 4 on my list, so we got a match already. And, I liken it because I'm such a huge Rush fan, my favorite band, but to Limelight, okay, which is a song that Neil Peart wrote about fame, and the same exact concept as Corduroy, like dealing with a stranger coming up to you and it's like a long-awaited friend. It's the same concept, and I think those guys, Neil Peart and Eddie, they intersect in that way. They both had issues with fame and about being recognized and your private life becoming public. So yeah, that's the tie-in there. But Corduroy, just an amazing song, sums it up nicely. And yeah, so we got a match already.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to give, of course I cheated already. I got a tie at number 5 with 2 songs. I have Yellow Ledbetter.
Nice.
Yep. Which is an outtake from 10. It's B-side to Jeremy. And I love Yellow Ledbetter. It's a staple in their live shows, typically near the end. It's just awesome. I had to include it in my top 5. So Yellow Ledbetter. And Ed said of the song, it's an anti-patriotic song, an anti-war song. So I'm all there, just like I mentioned before. So that's all cool. And it's just a huge, great, again, live song. And I'm going to say that's tied with Given to Fly, which is an amazing song off Yield.
Wow, so we have a second match. That's my number 2.
I knew that was going to be in your top 5. There you go. Oh, number 2 for you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Given to Fly, just awesome. I think very emotional song for me, personally. When we saw him in Boston 2 years ago, they did Given to Fly, and my brother had just recently passed away. So that song just kind of, has a lot of emotion for me, and I think that was an amazing moment, And Eddie, for all the negative songs that Pearl Jam might have and dark songs that they have and that Eddie writes about going through tough and difficult times, I think Given to Fly is such a hopeful song. It's about a guy kind of rising above it and looking down, and again, it was, hard not to think of my brother. So very emotional song for me, and it had to be in my top 5.
I agree, yeah. It's one of I think the most memorable moments I'll ever have at a concert, just holding hands with John, thinking about his brother, and definitely shedding some tears.
Yeah. I'm glad it's in your top 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's my number 5 and 6, and you are up.
All right, so I'm going to go with number 4 is Release from the album 10. Unlike John, it is included in my top 5 and top 10. I think Release is just such an emotional song, and I think that's what Eddie does so well at conveying. It's just, I think you get chills just listening to that song, and you really can relate, and I think no matter what you've gone through, that song really, it's like getting to that point that, you need to release the pain, the anger, whatever it is. And I think it creates a lot of hope, I think, for a song that, talks about so much pain that someone's been through. And I think it's just such a special song, and I really, really love it.
Yeah, it is a great song. And again, I knocked 10 a little bit before, but it especially live, so many of those songs are just great to see live. And again, I really do enjoy the album, but I don't want to cheat because you'll see if you want, if you look at how we rank the albums, I definitely respect 10, and I've gotten to love a lot of the songs, but Release is one of the best on it.
Yeah, that's a song that shows the power of music because it just moves you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no matter who you are, where you're from, whatever race, it just does. you know, and I just think that's such a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Powerful thing.
Yeah, good one. All right, so now I'm going to say with my number 3 top song is I Got It or I Got Shit. All right, again, that wasn't on a studio album. It was on the Merkin Ball and Mirror Ball collaboration with Neil Young. And Neil Young plays guitar on this song. And to me, again, talk about the dark side of some of Pearl Jam songs and Eddie's lyrics. This is it. It's about a love that got away, hopelessness, and shattered self-esteem. I just love it. It touches me. And yeah, it's an amazing song. And I think, you know, some people say, well, why do you like so many depressing songs? But to me, they lift me up. Because you see that in a lot of Pearl Jam's lyrics, you know, the main central character in the songs, even though they go through a hard time, they can make it through to the other side. And, you know, it's a message of hope that typically follows a message of despair or going through rough times. And again, it's nice to know that other people go through that. So to hear that in a song gives me hope. So I Got It, I Got Shit, just an amazing song. Hard to believe it's not on one of their studio albums, because how did that not make it? But
True.
Yep. Not on your top?
No.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So what are you on?
So I'm going to go with my number 3, which
Okay.
is Daughter from the album Versus.
Okay.
I think it's just such a sweet, special song. This is actually about a girl that has dyslexia and how her mother doesn't understand her. And, you know, just so you guys know, John and I have worked with people with disabilities, and just the trouble that it is to be understood when nobody really knows what's going on. So I think that one speaks, I think, to me a lot, and I don't know, John can comment, but it's just, I think the lyrics itself are just like really beautiful, really put together. And, you know, Eddie's talked about it in interviews. It's just like, unfortunately, you know, kids with dyslexia and other, you know, disabilities, you know, they can get treated pretty badly, and some abused. And I think that this song just captures that so well.
Oh, it's awesome. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about Daughter. And I like Daughter, but again, going back to like 10, and I know Daughter wasn't on 10, but it's just another of the really popular Pearl Jam songs. And I respect you for putting it on your list, but a lot of times it's those oversaturated songs, again, like the ones on 10, Jeremy, and then when Daughter was just being played constantly, I kind of shy away from that, I tend to. But then Silly Me, years later, I usually jump back on board. And Daughter was one that, yes, I heard it a million times, but I'm like, hey, it's a great song. And now I even respect it more knowing that. Cool, thanks for that. All right. So I'm on number 2, and you mentioned this song already, but it's Elderly Woman.
Nice.
Yep,
Good
all
one.
verses. And it talks about like Eddie's fascination with small towns, and again, elderly woman behind the counter in a small town. I think it was their fuck you to the critics that say, why do you only have 1 and 2 word titles to songs? Elderly woman, blah, blah, blah. Love that. Love their sense of humor, and it's just an amazing song.
Agree.
Yep.
Great choice.
Yeah, Versus is a great album, but Elderly Woman, I think probably one of my tops off that album, if not the best. Yep, so that's number 2 for me.
All right, well, time for my number 1, and that's going to be State of Love and Trust, which was not on an album.
So we have a tie. We have not a tie, but a match.
Wow.
Yep.
That's 3.
That is 3, yes.
Wow.
Yep,
Awesome.
we have 3 matches, and yeah, that's my number 1.
Wow. Sweet. So there's been different interpretations about that song. To me, it sounds like someone who's contemplating suicide. And you can hear that in the lyrics when it says, and the barrel shakes, aimed directly at my head. Oh, help me from myself. Kind of like someone
Love that one.
not really knowing like what to go through, you know, listening to the voices inside, you know, his head. I just think it's a very powerful song. And you hear it, again, just like with Release, just there's that pain, there's that struggle. But just like John says, there's just like kind of like a path to hope and getting through it. And I think this is just, again, one of their most incredible songs that I really love.
Yep, it's number 1 for me. No surprise that we have a tie at the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that line that you quoted, and also Promises Are Whispered in the Age of Darkness. Just another amazing line from State of Love and Trust. Yeah, it didn't even make it on 10. So see, another knock on 10. Why the hell didn't that make 10? Yeah, it was on the single soundtrack. So, yeah, it's just an incredible song. And whenever I see it live, it's just, whoa, highlight for me.
Agree.
Yep. Wow, so we had 3 matches. State of Love and Trust, Corduroy, and Give It to Fly.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, we broke our record. All right, so we want to do the rest. We'll just list 5 through 10 pretty quickly. We're not going to bore you with all the ins and outs. So I'll let Steph go first, then I'll go.
So my number 6 is Love Boat Captain from Riot Act.
Great song.
Great song, indeed.
Yeah.
Number 7 is Do the Evolution from Yield. Love the Greediness. I love that studio version. Awesome. And then I actually picked for number 8, Yellow Ledbetter. So
okay.
I just missed my top 5.
Cool.
Number 9, Review Mirror off of Versus. That was about Eddie talking about his stepfather and how he's getting away from him. So another great song.
Song that has so much like visualization when you think of just driving down the road and looking at your rearview mirror. It's just every time that song's on, I could just picture that and seeing your ugly past just in the rear view. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And then number 10 is Why Go from the album 10, which for me was really cool to hear them play that live because I didn't really know the song, and it's awesome that it's from their first album, so that's really cool.
Again, great live. Good album. Check it out. All right, cool. So I will just leaf through my 7 to 10 because remember 6 was a tie in my top 10. So Better Man off Vitalogy. How could that not be in anyone's top 10?
Sweet.
Awesome. Then Rearview Mirror, number 8. 9, Indifference off Versus. Just love it. Love when Ben Harper did it with them live, but studio live Indifference is just an awesome song. And number 10 is In Hiding off Yield. Again, love Yield, and just love the real quick. Eddie was quoted for the song "A Life Fast," taking a respite from life, hiding away. In Hiding is just an amazing song about kind of getting away from other people and doing a little meditation, and love that.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's our top 10 songs, and we'll list it at the end. And feel free to give us hell about it. Anything else you want to say?
Feel free to comment. Always love to get the conversation going about one of our favorite bands.
Yep. And for all you Pearl Jam fans, let's get psyched for the Gigaton tour that's going to happen next year. And everyone stay safe.
Stay safe and check out our next video.